This video is going to be over how to find volume of different types of shapes. Alright, the first shape we're going to go over is a prism. Here is an example of a prism. There's a drawing, and as you can see, you have the base and the height indicated. The base is the bottom of the shape. That's called the base, and in this particular shape, the base is here, and the height is this line back here. Okay, now the formula for finding volume of a prism is volume equals BH, or volume equals length times width times height, which seems to be an easier formula to remember. But volume equals base times height, where the capital B is the area of the base, and H is the height. The second shape we're going to talk about is a cylinder. And as you can see, a cylinder is round. And so because a cylinder is round, it's going to have a diameter or a radius. Remember that in circles, the diameter is the entire length of the circle from point to point through the middle. This is the diameter. The radius is half the diameter. Okay, so the radius is half the diameter. So in the formula for a cylinder, you need to know, it says V for volume equals pi, and it's kind of hard to see. Pi looks like this. Pi r squared times the height. Now remember, all the letters are together, so that means that you're going to multiply all of them. Pi is 3.14. You can either use 3.14 in your calculations or actually hit the pi button on your calculator. Sometimes it's easier just to hit 3.14 so you know what you're doing. R is the radius, and in your picture it's going to be half the diameter. So in this picture it's here. That's the radius. And the height, again, is how tall the shape is. So it's right here, and that will probably be indicated on the picture as well. Pi r squared means the exponent squared, so that means r times r, and on your calculator, remember the exponent key, you can use it with the caret symbol. So we're going to talk more about that in just a few minutes. The next shape is a cone, and the formula for the cone is 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So it's almost the same formula as the cylinder, but a cone is 1/3 pi r squared times the height. Pi being 3.14, radius squared, obviously here's the radius in a cone. Remember, if you're talking about the radius, you're going to be talking about the circle part of the shape. And the height will be indicated here in the picture, how tall it is. A pyramid is almost just like a prism formula. Instead, you have 1/3 in front of base times the height. So again, B is the base, or the area of the base. So if you find a big B, you have to find the area of the base. That's why sometimes it's easier to do volume equals length times width times height, because this part right here is the capital B, the length times the width. So here you would do length times width times the height, and so it would be 1/3 length times width times height for an easier formula to remember. And the last shape is a sphere. A sphere is also a round shape that's going to have a radius. So in this shape, here's the radius is indicated here. Sometimes you might be given the diameter. So remember, if you're given the diameter, you need to take the radius equals half the diameter, or I'm sorry, the diameter divided by 2. Okay, so I don't want to confuse you, so we're going to take that out. So the formula for sphere is 4/3 pi r squared. Pi meaning 3.14, and r meaning the radius, and I said squared and it's cubed. Remember, it's cubed 3. So now we're going to do some practice problems. Oh, before that, we're going to talk about some buttons here on the calculator that you need to know. The first button is, here's your pi button. Okay, there's your pi button. Let's see if this will work. Nope. Let me get blue. Blue usually works. Your pi button is here. So on your calculator, when you hit the pi, it's going to just show up pi. This caret symbol is for exponents. Okay, remember, if you have radius cubed and radius equals 4, then you do 4 caret 3 for 4 cubed. Here's your negative sign, in case you need to know that. Here are your parentheses. And here's your fraction key. The fraction key looks like this, A, B/C. And to use, so like if we had our 1/3 pi r squared times the height, what you would do is hit the 1, the A, B/C, and then the 3, then the pi button, and then radius 4 caret 2 times the height, and you say the height 6 times 6. Okay, so you would do that on your calculator. This is how you would write a fraction, and we're going to go over that a little bit in further depth here in the next couple slides. Alright, the first example here is a prism, and the volume formula for prism is volume equals B, capital B, which is the area of the base times the height. Remember, you can also do volume equals length times width times height. Now, we're going to go ahead and do volume is BH, just in case that's you see that, you know what that is. Alright, so we want to find, this is the area of the base, so the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out what numbers are going to go here in our letters. So we don't know what B equals yet. We have to figure that out. And so let's see if we know what the height equals. Well, the height equals 6. So the area of the base would be length times width. So we have length here and width here. So that's 4 times 2, which equals 8. So now we have B equals 8 and H equals 6. So volume equals B is 8 times H is 6. 8 times 6 is 48. And we don't have any units here, so we're just going to put units. And we can't forget to put, it's always cubed, so it's either centimeters cubed, inches cubed, units cubed, whatever. So make sure it's always cubed. Alright, the next example is a cylinder, and we have our cylinder formula here. Volume equals pi r squared times the height. So the first thing we need to do is figure out the letters pi, r, and h are the letters we need to figure out. Well, we know that pi is 3.14. Let's look at our picture. Do we know what the radius is? Well, it says r is right here, which is 2. And it says h right here for the height, which is 6. So now all we need to do is plug in our numbers into our formula. So volume equals, the first thing is pi, 3.14 times radius squared, which is radius is 2 squared, times 6 is the height. So on your calculator, you need to hit 3.14 times 2 squared times 6. So if I put that on my calculator, it would end up being 75.36 units cubed. Alright, here's an example of a cone. Our formula for cone is 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So we need to figure out our letters pi, r, and h. Pi is 3.14. The radius in our picture is here. It's indicated that it is 4. And our height is indicated here. And it is 6. So all we need to do is plug this in. So volume equals 1/3 times 3.14 times the radius squared times 6. Now on your calculator, you will see that button, the A, B/C, which is your fraction key. So you're going to put in 1, A, B/C, 3, parenthesis 3.14, or you can use the times symbol, times 4 caret 2, because the caret's for the exponent, times 6. So let's go ahead and put that in your calculator. And you should get 100.48 units cubed. Alright, the next shape is a pyramid, and the volume formula for pyramid is 1/3 capital B, which is area of the base, times the height. So we need to figure out B and H. Well, in our drawing, we see that the height equals 6, and the B is the area of the base, so that, remember, area of the base is length times width. Remember, in our drawing here, the base is here, so our length is 4 and our width is 4. So length times width is 4 times 4, which is 16. So we need to put volume equals 1/3. The base is 16, and the height is 6. So on your calculator, you're going to put 1 A, B/C, 3 times 16 times 6. So let's go ahead and do that on our calculator. 1/3 times 16 times 6. And you should get 32 units cubed. The last example is a sphere, and the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So we need to figure out pi and r. So we know that pi is 3.14, and we know that our radius here is 6. So in your so the formula would read 4/3 times 3.14 times radius cubed. So you would, on your calculator, put 4 A, B/C, 3 for the fraction, times 3.14 times 6 caret 3 for cubed. So let's go ahead and do that. 4/3 times 3.14 times 6 cubed. And you should get 904.32 units cubed. Now, remember, you do not have to memorize these formulas. All of these formulas will be on your math reference sheet given to you at OGT testing, and a copy of this math reference sheet is also in your classroom. So make sure that you print this off and keep it close to you so you don't have to worry about memorizing any of these formulas. If you still have any questions, you can watch the lesson video again, or go through the written lesson, or contact your teacher.